Welcome to Civilian Jeeps. I'm Jake, and today we're in beautiful Horse Creek, Tennessee with an interview with Donnie and his 1983 Jeep CJ7. Now this Jeep is really cool. I'm excited to show it to you, so stick around and this is all you need to know about this CJ7. All right, Donnie, so this is your 1983 CJ7. Tell us a little bit about it. Where did you get it from and how long have you owned it?
I bought this Jeep 2 years ago. Actually never saw the Jeep in person, just saw pictures of it. I had a friend of mine work the deal up, and like I said, about 2 years ago, ended up dragging it home.
Okay.
Jeep had actually been rolled when I bought it, so it's been 2 years of hard work.
Yeah, I'd say so. Now, this is a beautiful Jeep, and we'll get to the exterior of this Jeep here in a minute, but let's go ahead and talk about the drivetrain. Let's pop the hood on it, see what's underneath, what's powering this thing. All right, so tell us a little bit about the drivetrain setup here with your engine.
So the Jeep still has the 4.2 in it. It's had a few upgrades to it though. It's got the Clifford 6-8 intake on it. It's got a 6-into-1 header. It's got the HEI conversion on it. So the rest of the drivetrain, it's still the T4 transmission, still the Dana 300, still has the AMC 20 and the Dana 30 in it, with some upgrades of course.
All right, what transmission are you running under this?
Running the T4 4-speed.
T4 4-speed. What about the transfer case? Is it Dana 300?
It is a Dana 300.
What axles you got under here?
It's the AMC 20 in the back and the Dana 30 in the front.
All right. What gears are in these?
It's running 410 gears.
410s. Lockers?
It's got grizzly lockers in it. It's got chromoly axles front and rear. So.
Notice in your engine bay here, you got a power brake booster here. You got power steering on this thing. Tell me a little bit about the wiring. Is this factory wiring?
No, the wiring's not factory. The wiring actually looked like a house of rats had been a hold of it and made a nest out of it. It was hanging out everywhere, wires cut everywhere. So this is actually a painless harness that I ended up putting in.
Okay. Was it pretty painless for you?
It was pretty painless. I mean, if you're patient enough to read the directions with it, then and follow what they say, then it's pretty simple to put in and use.
That's good. Tell me about your distributor.
Distributor is a Taylor distributor. It's a HEI conversion for the 4.2s. So HEI gives you more voltage out of the coil than the old stock top setup does.
So is that a Flex-a-Lot fan?
That is a Flex-a-Lot fan.
Is the alternator just the stock alternator, or you upgraded that?
No, that's upgraded. It's a one-wire alternator. So. Okay,
yeah, GM style.
Yep.
All right, Donnie, so going to the suspension, what are we running on this?
So on this one, it's all BDS except for the shocks. It's about 3.5 inches of lift total. The shocks are the New Rancho RS7s.
So the shackles, the factory front shackle, no reversal on it?
It's no reverse, but I'm running boomerang shackles front and rear.
Okay. Boomerang shackles. What about on your actual axles on the AMC 20 and the Dana 30? You running any special shafts in there?
I run the 10 factory.
10 factory shafts?
Yeah.
All right. As far as suspension goes, what size tires are these?
These are 35s. 35 1250s.
And how do those do with the 410 gears?
It would be better with 33s, but the 35s do well because I daily drive this thing. Yeah. So.
Okay. One of those people that daily drive them. That's awesome. All right, Donnie, so on this 35-inch rubber here, what kind of wheels do we have?
It's the American Racing. It's the Outlaw 2s.
Outlaw 2s, okay. On the exhaust, what kind of exhaust is on this Jeep?
It's a 6-into-1 header, and then basically it's a stock replacement muffler and tailpipe. So.
Okay, got a good little grumble to it?
It does. Not too obnoxious, but just loud enough.
Let's go ahead and start it up and let the viewers hear it a little bit. All right, Donnie, what paint job have we got here?
That is a Lowe's special. That's $40 worth of Rust-Oleum.
Well, for a Lowe's special, that looks really good. I like the paint on it. I like the matte black look, especially on Jeeps that get used. So, rust-wise, is there any rust on this Jeep?
The only rust on that Jeep is right behind the windshield hinge on the driver's side. There's one hole about the size of your pinky, and that's the only rust in the entire Jeep. So
not much, very minimal. So, what's the bumpers? Let's go ahead and go into the bumpers.
The bumpers are from Rugged Ridge, the front and rear.
Front and rear Rugged Ridge bumpers?
Yep.
You run any type of slider or?
No.
Or is that, okay. So no slider, Rugged Ridge, front and rear bumpers. What kind of winch is that you got mounted?
That's a super winch. That's our SX10.
So 10,000 pound?
10,000 pound winch, synthetic
line.
Yep. Comes with the monster hook when you buy them, so.
Yeah, I like that one. That's nice. Lighting wise, let's go ahead and dive into the lighting.
The lights on the front are the 6-inch rigid 360s.
And there's some bright lights.
They are. Plus they have the little running halo. If you don't have them on full, you can run the little running halo that's in behind them. So
the headlights.
The headlights are the KC replacements for the CJs. It's the same lot that would go on a TJ or an LJ. And so.
Okay. The tail lights. What kind of tail lights you running?
Tail lights are Rugged Ridge. They're the LEDs.
Okay. Any more lighting, or does that pretty much take care of it?
Basically, that's it. Other than, you know, every light on it pretty much is LED except for the front marker lights.
Okay, Donnie. So tell us a little bit about the interior. What kind of gauges do we have?
The gauges are the odometer. Jeep branded gauges, other than the speedometer cluster, and that is the original cluster in it. So, and the fuel gauge works.
Fuel gauge, that's a big one. Coolant gauge, that's the Jeep one down here.
Yeah, coolant gauge don't work in the original one, so I've got the Jeep one down there from odometer.
Question for you: these are the vertically driven sound enclosures?
Yep.
I'd say that helps with the audio a lot.
It does. I've got the vertical driven front and then behind the seats on each side as well. It's got Polk audio speakers in all 4 of them. So.
What about the steering wheel there?
Steering wheel, actually, column and steering wheel both are Flaming River. So that's the Flaming River column for the CJ, and then the steering wheel is as well. The only difference with the steering wheel from what you normally get is I took, and it's a polished, and I took and brushed it.
Okay. It looks good. So what kind of seats do we have?
We've got the Corbos, the adjustables. Probably one of the best investments I've ever put in a Jeep. So.
I'd say so. I like the bolstering on them.
Yeah.
Is that for the rear as well?
The rear is actually a best stop.
Best stop seat.
My grandkids love riding in this thing as much as I do, so we got to have them a place to sit too.
I'd say. So what about the cage here?
Cage was in it when I got it. It's a full cage. I've not had a chance to test it, but the previous owner had tested it, so.
It does work.
Yeah.
Tied to the frame?
Tied to the floor.
Oh, tied to the floor, okay. So I see that you have a soft top on this Jeep, and it looks to be in excellent condition, and that you're running the soft doors. Do you have a hard top?
No, the previous owner had rolled the Jeep, and they had the hard top on it, so it busted it pretty bad.
Yeah,
so,
pretty beat up.
Yeah.
The doors, I see you're running soft doors. Do you have hard doors?
No, I do not. I had the hard doors with it, but don't have the doors on unless it's wintertime, so basically I sold the doors.
True CJ man.
Yes.
The top, how old is the top?
The top's about 2 years old.
Okay, it's in great shape. What kind of carpet is this?
This is the bed rug for the CJ. They make them for TJs and stuff as well, but it's good because I can take it out and wheel it and pull the pieces out and wash them off and put them back in.
Yeah, so. Clean it up.
Yep.
Yeah, it really has a nice fit and finish in this Jeep.
It does good to deaden some of the squeaks and rattles. So
yeah, old CJ, you're gonna have those.
Yes.
So what would be your favorite upgrade of this Jeep?
Probably my favorite upgrade is probably the Corbo seats.
Corbos?
I've got back issues, and I can go out and be on the trail all day long and come out with no issues. So I've had some other brand seats that after a couple hours I'm ready to be done. So
ready to get out of it?
Yeah, these things are awesome. So
what about future upgrades for this Jeep?
Future upgrades, we'll eventually look at putting a V8 in it. The 4.2's fine, but I've got a racing background and I like power.
Yeah,
so
more power.
I gotta have more power. So.
Everybody needs more power.
Yeah.
Okay, so I heard you mention earlier that you do daily drive this Jeep. Now, with you daily driving it, how often does an issue occur?
I've done so much work to it that it's not often, but it still has issues. I mean, just a week ago I replaced the entire wiper system on it pretty much because of, I mean, it's 41 years old. So
Yeah, linkage failure?
Linkage failure. When the linkage failed, it fried the motor. So
okay.
Yeah.
So there is some things that do pop up from time to time when
Yeah.
you're daily driving it.
I mean, it's like I said, it's a 41-year-old vehicle, so you're
Yeah,
gonna have
you're gonna
issues.
have a few things pop
Yeah.
up. Well, there you have it. That was Donnie's 1983 Jeep CJ7. I think this is an awesome Jeep. It's the perfect, go to a show, wheel, whatever you want to do with it, this would be the Jeep for you. Now, I really appreciate Donnie doing this interview for us, and if you've liked this, please let me know. And if you got a comment or something, want to know more about this, leave it down below. Donnie has a YouTube. He will comment back and answer any question you might have. And when it comes to Jeeps, keep it classic.